Hey guys, this is Greg Beast here. I just finished my week 1 of my 5 head reviews. I just finished a review with the Duel. So I used this exact head for a week and trained with it. It's the STX Duel. I used it on a surgeon shaft. You don't have to use the Duel shaft. That shaft is just an alloy shaft with a neon grip. You have to tape over top of that grip anyway. So I just used this shaft mainly because I wanted to show you the difference in the range in which this throat has compared to other heads. So we might as well get started here with the pros of this head. One, I will say this, the head definitely grew on me throughout the week. I've never spent an entire week training with a different head other than the blade for over the last decade. So it was good to try something for an entire week, give it practice, give it training reps, give it real reps against some guys. And it was a lot of fun to actually get to feel up a different head and see the way it bends. So let's get to the pros. The obvious one that everyone always talks about, and the reason most guys try this head, is the differentiation between a normal throat and the insertable throat that the STX Duel has. So on this tape, you can tell this used to have a Nike Legacy on it. So you can tell the difference between a standard throat and the Duel throat. You get about a full inch closer to the plastic. For a lot of guys, they need that. For some guys, they're just not as fast hand speed wise, so they need that little bit of their glove to hit the other guy's stick to try and slow things up. I personally think that the big advantage of this stick has nothing to do with the throat, but the flex point. I think the flex point is great. It's very similar to what I'm used to. These bars right here, the back rail is very sturdy. It does a great job. The head flexes in a way that any face-off guy who's used to that oblique angle flex can pick this up right away and get used to it. So I think the strength of this isn't necessarily the hand closer to plastic, but that's me because I don't really like my hand closer to the ball. I like the fact that I have some space. But the ball wraps really nicely into the throat when you come on top of it. So it's great for rotation. It doesn't really affect too many things. When I'm reviewing these heads, I'm looking at a few different things. One, I'm looking at using my FOA system that obviously is very successful. Can I use a head, can I pick it up and use my system and have it be effective? Which I found with this stick, absolutely. The second thing I'm looking for is durability. Does this head break real easily? And the answer to that is no. It bends like crazy right in the middle. It turns into like this keyhole shape. It turns into a peanut, but it doesn't break. It's surprisingly durable. So that was pretty impressed with that. This head has gone through 1 week of training. Okay, I practiced with it 4 days this week. I did my reps with the FO app. I did cadences, and then one day I just took a bunch of live reps with a couple of the guys that I coach from Hofstra and Long Island and stuff, and just to break it in. And what I noticed was the final part, that the question is do you have to change up your mechanics at all in order to get the most out of this head? And the answer is yes, a slight tweak. As far as footwork goes, as far as rotation goes, as far as exits go, you don't have to change anything. The FOA system works perfectly with this head. As far as the left hand punch, everything's the same. But there is one little mechanical issue that this can cause if you only use this head over a long time. For elite level guys that train with us, they know that we are very against this whole right hand push down the line thing. One, it turns your shoulders away from the ball. Two, it has a habit of pushing the ball into the opponent's stick. I personally have made an entire career off of guys pushing the ball into my stick because I rotate around and they just guess and do this, okay? However, with this head, you don't have a choice but to punch a little bit into the ball. Reason being is this stick, okay, this head, the most useful part of it is this bottom 10%. Okay, this section right here, where these flex points are, and the bottom, is by far its strongest ally. But everything else about this head is gooey. So if you try to just rotate around the ball, you probably won't be that successful. You have to punch your right hand into the ball a little bit. Now, if you get caught up in just punching your right hand, and you start moving just horizontally like this, that's where we see the big issues, okay? We see guys who get so caught up in doing this that there's no left-hand punch. So what happens is, if they don't completely smoke the guy and guess right on the whistle, they get over-rotated and then the other guy smokes them. If they do guess right, they win it. Now they're out here and they're extended. So this is a very easy person to counter, especially someone who doesn't lock their toe. If they're down like this and just guess, it's very sloppy, and it's real easy to counter. It's an easy person to beat. So what you have to do is the happy medium. If you're going to punch your right hand in there, you're going to try and stuff the throat with the right hand a little bit, but you have to punch your left hand first, okay? So you can even do it simultaneously. So on the whistle, yes, the right hand's going to punch in, but the left hand has to come as well. And then you'll stuff the throat and you'll go right into your rotation and you'll be fine. You can exit, you can do everything exactly how you have to. But you have to be able to punch that left hand as well as punching the right hand down the line. If you get caught up in just doing the right, it's going to affect your mechanics. And long term, you're going to start to get beat and you're going to wonder why. Especially if you're a guy who's late in high school going against elite level opponents, or if you're a college guy. You do not want to get caught in those mechanical issues, because then we start to get that elbow flare, then we start to get all the weird things that come along with it, then you're falling upfield, and then it's a nightmare to fix, to go back and fix all that. So be cognizant of the fact that yes, right hand's going to go into the ball, but the left hand has to punch so that your momentum carries you over top of it as well. That was the only real negative that I saw of this stick. After that, it's the warping issue in the middle of it. This head should pretty much come with the softball included to keep it wide. Because as you can tell, I've used this for 1 week and it's pretty much illegal. I mean, I can't even clamp down in the middle of this stick yet. So, you know, that's going to be an issue that you might have to focus on. But like I said, no cracks. I mean, I beat this thing to death and there's no cracks at all in it. So I was pretty impressed with it. The scoop's great, okay? Especially if you're a guy like me who's used to the blade. I mean, the scoop on the blade is a little wonky. 1 week, man. So be cognizant of that, all right? I can't even get that ball out of there. The scoop is great. The blade scoop is back like this, so having a head that just scooped right into the ball was great for me. Like I said, I really got used to this head. I think I will have this in my bag throughout the summer to go against other guys who have this head, because when you line up against another guy who has this head, most of them are going to do it because they want their hand closer to the ball. Whether they think it gives them more leverage or they're worried that they're not as fast as you, doesn't matter. When they go down, if the official puts the ball a quarter of an inch closer to this guy's throat, it's really tough to beat a guy who's got this head, because this throat is a black hole if they get an advantage of a couple inches this way. So this might be a situation where you have this in your bag, so when you go against an elite level guy, you might want to go stick for stick with him. Switch over to the duel, that way all things are equal. So, you know, I will have this stick in my bag most likely this summer. I might whip it out a couple times. You know, I'm tired of breaking 16 heads a season, so the fact that it's so durable is great. But like I said, you're going to have to really watch the spacing of the middle of the stick, because it bends like it turns into a peanut really quick. So that's just my take on the STX Duel. You know, it's been an interesting ride this week, and it grew on me a little bit. And next week I'm going to review the head that's pretty much dominated 70% of the face-off market over the last couple of years, and that is the Nike CEO. So thanks to the Beast Lab guys, and I'll see you next week.